Hello, how's it going? Today we're answering a really popular question in any MMO and online game, which is how do you get rich in game? I'm going to talk about the beginner ways of learning how to earn money in most games. I'm most likely not going to talk about specific things for specific games, but I'm going to try to give you a general idea of things you can learn to look for in any MMORPG you play, so you can get your own ridiculous amount of money. To start things off, let me get a couple of things out of the way. Unless you pay real world money for in-game money, you won't get stuff proportional to the amount of time and effort you put in it. You can't go on Google, search for how do I make money in WoW, and suddenly you will find a secret that will allow you to make 10 times more money than people who play the game for hours. That's not gonna happen. It's simply not gonna happen. If there's a well-known way to make a shit ton of money, the money won't be worth anything, and the game will be oversaturated with money, and we'll have a huge amount of inflation, and so the money won't matter. So the point is, if you want to become rich in a game where money matters, you have to put effort, you have to be ahead of other people. While someone is killing shitty mobs, shitty creeps, you'll be playing the most efficient way, killing the best creature with health per XP ratio, with health per money ratio, whatever. So that's the point, okay? You're not going to get away with not working. You gotta be willing to learn, you gotta be willing to research, you gotta be willing to fight, and unless you persist, you won't make shit. Now that we got that out of the way, we can start actually talking about the points. So to start things off, we have to ask ourselves one question. Why do you want money in the game? What's money good for? Let's take an example game where you use money to buy consumable items from NPCs like potions, food, buffs, shit like that. You want money for that, which is a recurring waste of money. You constantly buy potions, constantly buy food, and you will use them in the process of making more money. There are also games where you're going to buy persistent items from NPCs like equipment or persistent buffs. And there's also the player trade, trading items between players. You give them the money, they give you the item, so money circles within the economy. When you buy stuff from NPCs, the money leaves the economy. The money is sort of deleted from the game because you're giving it to an NPC and not to another player. So you want money because you want to buy things. Let's think about that for a while. What kinds of things players can get from the game? In some games, rare equipment that drops from mobs. In some games, equipment that drops only once in a lifetime from a certain quest. Equipment that can be crafted. So we are getting to the main point, which is you have to understand where the things that generate money come from. If the things that you really want to buy with the money are things that are crafted by players, most likely crafting is the place where you can make a lot of money. In other games, potions are crafted by players and not NPCs, and potions are the really big resources that can be sold for money. So the first step in order to actually understand how to make money in games is to understand what game you're playing. In a game like World of Warcraft, you can make a lot of money by creating items that can be used in another profession. Like, you can make a lot of money by destroying items and creating enchantment items and selling them. In games like Dofus, one of the main sources of income to a lot of people is by farming items used to create potions to sell to other players, because potions bought from NPCs are not that good. So you have to understand where most people will spend their money. So the first step to become rich in a game is to study the game. Try to look in the markets, talk to players. You can honestly directly go to high-level players and ask them, where do you spend your money? You make a lot of money hunting, you make a lot of money playing the game, right? So where does that money go? Do you buy potions? Do you buy equipment? You buy buffs? Learn the game, learn where the money goes. Ask players if they make alts, if they make new characters constantly. In a game where people are constantly creating new characters, low-level, powerful equipment is very valuable, and sometimes not farmed as frequently as people are making new characters. By that, we can get to another point, which is you have to find things that are not only desired by the community, you have to also find things that people aren't constantly selling. The more someone wants to buy an item, and the rarest it is, the more money it's going to be worth. If people are trying to buy items faster than they are put in the game's market, the item's price is going to rise. If people are trying to sell an item faster than people are trying to buy it, the price is going to drop. You have to constantly think and understand those concepts and apply them to the game you're playing in order to see how the market works. Which leads me to another point. You won't be making money doing the same thing over and over again. Sometimes you're going to have to change strategies. Sometimes one item you're using, one item you're selling, one quest you're doing, more people are going to find out about it, or people are going to go back and start doing it again, and the amount of profit you can get from it is going to drop. You have to keep an eye open to that, and you have to keep continuously studying the game and understanding how the market fluctuates. I can give you an example from two games I have played a lot, which are Tree of Savior and Dofus. In both of those games, you can, from the in-game interface and from add-ons, you can see for how much a certain item is selling at the moment. If you keep track of that information, you'll be able to see that an item constantly fluctuates. An item will be worth, let's say, 4,000 silver in one day and 10,000 silver in another day, and it constantly fluctuates because people are constantly buying it. Which means that you can eventually get a whole week where people are selling an item for a really low price, and then suddenly the price rises up again. If you actually know the market and you actually know those patterns, you can buy items low and sell high when other people wouldn't have the guts and the knowledge to do it. Meanwhile, some people will try to buy low and sell high, but they just don't know, they just don't have the stats, the information. They have never tracked the item price before, they think the price will raise, but it never does and they lose money. So always study the game, keep studying, keep track of information. If you think that this kind of stuff is boring, it's okay, but you have to understand that this, for a lot of people like me, is fun. It's a lot of fun to understand the market, to talk to people, to be constantly looking for items that are in demand, that are not in demand. And this knowledge is not only gotten from looking at interfaces, but also talking to other players. Most people won't have the patience to do this kind of stuff, but creating a network of players that talk to you about item prices. If someone wants a rare item that's worth a lot of money, and they go talking to you, that's an opportunity to make a lot of money in the long run. Can you imagine an alchemist that always wants to create new potions, and instead of going to the market and paying taxes to the game, he goes directly to you? That would be awesome, right? Constant demand, constant money. So talk to people, talk in trade chats. If your game allows add-ons that constantly send the messages to trade channels announcing what you have for sale, what you'll buy, use those. Make people know you, make people know that you want to buy shit, that you want to sell shit. Every time they want to make business, they have to think about you. I think one of the most important concepts you can get from this video is the lean startup method of build, measure, learn. If you are checking the game's market and you find a certain item that you think you can sell to make a profit, research about it. Go in the wikis and learn where that item drops, how much is the drop rate. Go out there, try to kill things that drop that shit for like 1 hour, 2 hours, check the results. Verify if that method is doable, if it's repeatable. Try to make notes of how many drops you can get in an hour, how much money that generates. Compare different places. Research, never stop researching. Most people want to play a game. They're going to go on Reddit, they're going to ask about one item that they can farm that makes a lot of money. And on that day, 60 different people are going to start farming that item and doing the same shit, selling it on the markets. The item's price is going to drop, sink, get near zero. And it's going to be completely not worth it to do it anymore. And sometimes that's even an opportunity for you that know the market to buy items that are sinking because of those events and wait for those people to get bored and not farm the item anymore, and its price is going to rise. Doing all of this is really cool, and the most important thing you have to remember is to keep looking at markets, keep researching, taking notes, and learning how item prices fluctuate. Some items will always be lowering, some prices will always be getting higher, and some items are constant. Understand the market, play the game your way, dominate servers, and buy anything you want. MMOs are all about the power. Sometimes the power is real money being put in the game and getting OP items. Sometimes the power is basically knowing what sells, knowing how things are done, and that by itself, without putting a single dollar in the game, is going to get you everything you want. If you have any questions, just hit me up on the comments. If you hated the video, if you think I suck, just leave a message, let me know in the comments. This was really superficial. I'm going to try to make a more in-depth, more specific points video in the future. Just let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Have fun, study the game, and see ya.